How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 119 of Trail Tales. My name is Kyle O'Grady. I am a thru hiker. I am a peak bagger. I am a huge hiking nerd, and every single week, except for the weeks that I missed, which seem to be pretty frequently, but not this week. I got last week, two episodes in a row here. Every single week on this podcast, I chat with other thru hikers, other peak baggers, and other hiking nerds about their experiences on the trail. And folks, this is a big episode. A very highly requested episode, an episode that I've been waiting to do for a long time. Taylor the Nahamsha, I always feel so weird when I say that because I can't because I'm from Vermont. Taylor the Nahamsha hiker is back on the show for, I believe, her third episode, something like that. I just know the last time we chatted was right before she left for the Appalachian Trail, and guess what? As many of you already know, she freaking crushed it, and just got back a few weeks ago, and so this is her post-AT episode, which is really sick. Like I said, something a lot of people have been asking for, and something I've been really excited for as well. So Taylor, when you hear this, even though you can literally hear this right now, thank you, and I am looking forward to the next one already. With that said, real quick before we get into the episode here, folks, I just want to do my plugs, just a couple things, a little bit different though this time. I want to plug my own channel because I feel like I haven't been plugging my own channel lately. In particular, I want to plug a video that's going to be coming out the day after this podcast is, so it's going to be coming out on Thursday. This podcast will be out on Wednesday the 14th, so the video will be up on the 15th. I hiked the Cranberry Lake 50 loop, and video is going to be coming out tomorrow about it. And guess what? I fucking hurt myself on this hike pretty bad, and it's not, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of the video, but it's just an interesting, I think it'll be entertaining for you guys. So I just wanted to plug that video. So if you don't already, know about my channel, go over to Kyle Hates Hiking on YouTube and keep an eye out for that video. Second of all, I just want to say Patreon. If you want to help support the show, please head over to patreon.com/KyleHatesHiking. That's the best way to support the show. I haven't had any sponsors lately, but I do have a number of awesome folks on Patreon. Shout out to everybody over there who donate just a couple bucks a month to support this ridiculous content. With that said, let's get into it. Episode number 119 with Taylor the, I'm going to say it, Nahamsha hiker. All right, here we go. Taylor, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How was my pronunciation of Nahamsha in that intro? I feel like I've kind of butchered it. I don't know.
Yeah, you take too long to say it. It just has to flow.
Yeah, it doesn't flow.
Nahamsha.
Nahamsha. See, I still feel weird. It's funny because my dad grew up in southern New Hampshire, and sometimes I feel like every now and then, a little bit of that accent will kind of slip out. So every time I hear Nahamsha or whatever the fuck it is, I just think of that. But anyways, Taylor, congrats on finishing the AT. Let's go. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you. I'm a thru hiker.
Yes, you are.
Although I said that after we did the Monadnocks on a P trail. I'm like, I'm a thru hiker. Now I just laugh at past Taylor.
Now you can
like,
actually
okay.
say it. Now you can actually, I mean, to be fair, if that was a thru hike, I still stand by that. But obviously a little bit different, a little bit different of a thru hike. But no, that's freaking awesome. And I knew you were going to crush it. I think everybody kind of knew you were going to crush it, but I especially knew because I had that opportunity to hike with you, and it was pretty clear, not that I had any doubts before, but it was like pretty clear that you knew what the hell you were doing, and so long as you stayed healthy, you were going to have no issues. And for the most part, that's what happened, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I surprised myself too.
100...
Never thought I would finish in June, but here I am.
Wait, so when did you think you'd finish by? Like July, maybe?
I think I always said July 1st, but I always said, I was like, it's going to be a stretch, but July 1st. So.
To be fair, it kind of is for just about anybody, honestly. You did it, it was like 120 days, something like that?
Yeah, 121 days.
121 days. That's crazy. Damn, you beat me by, a good couple weeks there, so.
Yeah, and shit. I wanted to do it, so that's 4 months. And like when I did the math, it was like 4 months, 19 hours. So
That's awesome. Yep. That's awesome. I'm really excited for you. My mom, by the way, watched like every single video of yours. Like she was it's so funny because like I was into hiking and backpacking for years, but it wasn't until I did the AT that I think my mom especially like really started to like pay attention to it, to the point where now she's like watching like through hiking vlogs like of other people, which I think is awesome.
I think she's messaged me once.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
She thanked me for my because she didn't get to watch your through hike, so she was like, now I get to see what Kyle did on his through hike and get to see what it was like. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it is cool, and she's gonna definitely mention this to me next time I talk to her on the phone because she's gonna listen to this episode. Hi, Mom.
Hey.
I feel like my mom gets brought up. That sounds bad. My mom gets brought up by me a lot on this podcast. Anyways, moms aside, I guess the first question, the most obvious question for you is just how have things been since you finished? You said you finished what, like two weeks ago, something like that?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I'm good. I don't know if you got this feeling after your through hike, but it feels like it never happened.
Damn.
I think I'm in the minority when it comes to that.
Probably, yeah.
Like, I just got back into life just so quickly, and people keep reminding me and like asking questions, and it takes me a second. I'm like, oh yeah, they're talking about the trail. I don't know. It feels like it was so long ago.
Like what kinds of questions? What do you mean?
Well, like, because I went back to work at my gift shop, and people will come in looking for me, and they want to talk, and someone will just come up and be like, oh, congrats. And I'm like, huh. Like, what are they talking about?
Oh, come on.
Well, because, no, like, it takes, like, obviously I figure it out, but it does take a second. Like, I also just got engaged. I just bought a house. I just through hiked. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's true. A lot of congrats. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. 2021's big year.
Do people come into your shop a lot, like, looking to talk to you and stuff?
Oh, all the time. Like,
that's awesome.
That sounds bad, but.
No, it doesn't sound bad. That's cool.
Yeah, one lady came in this afternoon and she saw me and she started crying. I thought that was so sweet.
What?
Yeah.
Taylor, you're like a celebrity now. Damn.
She's like, I didn't think I'd meet you. Yeah, it's weird. I never expected that.
You're famous. You're trail famous. You're not even trail famous, apparently. That's so funny. I've only been recognized once this year. Shout out to the guy I met on, what was that mountain? Hamlin Peak in Baxter. But no, that's awesome. I mean, I guess to be fair, your videos were pulling in a lot of views. What do you think you're gonna do as far as the channel's concerned now? I know you like just finished, but I'm curious, like, if you have any ideas for, like, you know, continuing content, or if you're gonna take a little break or anything like that. I did watch your gear video there you just posted.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go back to one video a week. I'm gonna do a lot of, I think, the Appalachian Trail content, because I have so many video ideas, like Q&As and gear videos and stuff like that about the through hike. Mm-hmm. And then I'll probably maybe do some trips this summer, and I don't know, keep the channel going. Maybe I always said I wouldn't do another through hike, but now I kind of have that feeling.
I was gonna ask you that, actually. I was gonna save it for the end, but since you just brought it up there, I remember. I shouldn't say that. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was sometime on our Monadnock hike, or maybe it was on one of the episodes, or maybe both. I had asked you if you had any interest in doing like another through hike besides the AT, and you said like no, and you seemed like pretty like firm in that. And I don't remember if I said this to you or not, but in my head I was kind of like, oh, we'll see once you complete the first one. You know, I feel like, because for me personally, before the AT, that was all I cared about too. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I want to do another one. Still getting around to it, but I don't know. It sounds like maybe that perspective has changed a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, it's funny because I had a hiking partner my whole through hike, and I feel like in the beginning I'm like 95% sure I'll never do a different long trail through hike. And then as the months went by, I'm like, okay, maybe that number is like only 80%. And I was like, okay, now I'm leaning towards the idea of, yeah, I'm probably going to end up doing another hike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I mean, not anytime soon,
right?
But, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. I've been saying that since I finished, but I still haven't done it yet. Hopefully next year, we'll see.
And there are shorter trails I want to do too.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably end up doing the long trail.
Yeah, you should, because you're so close.
I really want to do the I don't know why, but I want to do the Monadnock Sunapee Trail a second time.
Ooh,
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too. I kind of want to do it again sometime too. What do you think you'll do differently this time on it, if anything?
I want to attempt to go like super ultralight.
Mm-hmm.
Like
do it in a day kind of thing?
Maybe like try to do it 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I put everything in my backpack. I'm like, how ultralight can I get? And I got to like 8 pounds. And I'm like, okay, I want to do something with this.
Yeah. And you might as well,
probably be a
it's so
cool video
close.
idea too.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're kind of settling right back in. That's nice, because obviously a lot of people have I guess I'm kind of assuming here based off of like 10 minutes of talking, but a lot of people have kind of a tough time when they get back or whatever. I don't know, do you think it's kind of an advantage that you were able to just go right back into your gift shop and kind of settle right back into normal life, or do you kind of wish you had maybe a little bit more time to transition? What do you think?
I haven't been doing much. Honestly, when I do go to work, it's only like an hour or 2 at a time because I have that flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I never got like sad or bored or anything. I don't want to say like post-trail depression, but because I don't know, I never really felt that way. I think I'm just like the type of person that doesn't have many emotions. Like, I don't know. I don't really
just like boom,
get
on to
super
the next thing.
sad or.
I mean, you also have like a lot of positive things going on in your life too. So I feel like, I hate to say it, but for some people when they finish, they're just like, oh shit, like fuck, like what do I do now? But you've obviously, you've got your fiance and your house and your business and all this stuff to look forward to, I guess. So maybe that helps. I don't.
Everything's exactly the same from when I started my thru hike. Like I didn't quit my job. I didn't sell my house. I bought a house while I was thru hiking, which
that's
think
crazy.
was totally different. But yeah, everything is exactly the same. So I think that helped.
Yeah,
no
definitely.
major changes.
That's awesome. Can we get controversial, Taylor? Can we talk about the in your own words, everything you did wrong on your thru hike according to the internet?
Yes, I thought that would be funny. It's all the YouTube comments that were so entertaining.
So I'm sure people that followed your hike like closely probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it is funny. I don't know if it was like, as every YouTuber gets like, trolls and like hate comments and stuff. Do you think that you had like more for some reason, or were they just like more prominent? Like, what do you think about that?
There were so many that compared to what I was used to, like when more like in the early vlogs, like I don't know, maybe days 1 through 40. I had a lot of trolls.
And then when they saw like, oh shit, she's actually like crushing this, I should probably stop making a fool of myself.
Right, and I think I always say people realized that if they didn't like my videos, they didn't have to watch. So I think like after 1 or 2 months of like coming at me in the comment section, they're like, okay, I'm probably wasting my time.
Yeah, so you would think so.
Towards the end of the hike, I didn't really get any mean comments. But yeah, the first couple weeks, there were so many, and they never affected me. Sometimes you do this too. You like screenshot it and put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I love doing that.
I did that, but I just got so many DMs of people being like, oh, like, don't bring attention to them, or don't do, like, it's okay. And every time I did that, my DMs just like filled up. And I'm like, I'm not doing this so people feel bad. I just post them because they're funny.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to have like a mean comment of the day, but I refrained from doing that.
Yeah.
I wrote down 5 different things I did wrong on my thru hike according to the internet.
Oh, that would be a great title for a video. First of all, I'm sure you've already thought about that. But
no, I actually haven't.
That's a great. You should do a video on that.
I got the title.
I know you're like a little bit less controversial than I am when it comes to that stuff sometimes, but I think that'd be a funny video.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, I kind of want to get into the 5 in a second here, if that's okay. But just one thing I've always wanted to say is, it's kind of old news now, but I feel like around the time that you started, I made that video about yellow blazing. Like, it was just kind of like a coincidence, like timing wise. And then
Yeah.
I remember like a few days after I made that video, I saw people comment, not like that many people, it's probably just like 2 people. One that I remember specifically because I replied to it. But people were like saying like, oh, like you're yellow blazing. Like I just watched a video on yellow blazing. Like you're yellow blazing, and that shit pissed me off so fucking much. I was like, you guys, I think it was because you slack packed maybe, and they thought that was yellow blazing. I was like, you guys literally didn't even watch the fucking video.
Or every time I got in a car, they thought it was yellow blazing.
I was like, you fucking dummies. Like I felt bad for you too. I was like, fuck, am I like contributing to like her being harassed in the comments? Like I felt really bad about it. So
most definitely your fault.
I still stand by everything I said in that video, but like I don't know, just unintended consequences, I guess. It was just bad timing, I think.
It's funny. Yeah, yellow blazing is literally one of the 5 things I had written down.
Okay.
So I'm like, I gotta bring this up because he contributed to that.
Yeah, sorry. Were people saying that a lot? Like was that a really common one? It sounds like, because I only remember seeing it that few times.
It was just I think the day or 2 after you posted that video.
Fuck.
And I think
shit. Sorry.
But I also think it was towards the end of my hike too, when people realized I was already in Maine. Then I think it got brought up again a couple times.
Fucking trolls. Fuck them.
I don't think I have to say this, but I did not yellow blaze at all. I hiked every mile on the AT, except for 16 miles were closed in Virginia.
Yeah,
closures. I had no control over that.
You can't. It's, for the record, everybody, it's not yellow blazing if the trail's closed. And I actually said that in my video too. So don't listen to anybody who says that's yellow blazing.
There were power lines down on the trail, and I think hikers were getting electrocuted. So I wanted nothing to do with that.
You didn't risk electrocution just to be a purist, Taylor? Come on.
No, I didn't care. That was what was it? We had Angels Rest Hostel drive us around that closure. And did you stay there?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, that was one of my favorite town stops in like hostels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, I think that worked out perfectly. Yeah, Angels Rest can come pick me up and I'll go back there.
Nice. What's the second thing that people in the comments were saying the most often?
I think the most popular was my diet.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's because I wrote that thing in the shelter about that too. Yeah, I remember people seeing. I was like, "Have you guys ever seen like any?" Or do they obviously just don't know anything about like thru hiker diets? Because, granted, I don't know every single thing that you ate, but from what I saw, it didn't look any different from like what most people eat when they're thru hiking. So I didn't. Obviously, a lot of these troll comments are coming from people who literally have absolutely no fucking idea about thru hiking, which is funny.
Yeah, and they don't know everything I eat. If I show myself eating like a pack of Gushers, they're acting like that's the only thing I ate all day.
Yeah, right.
And like, I didn't show you the fruit at the Trail of Magic or the actual meals that I had. They only see the Gushers and the Snicker bars. And there were so many people that were like, she can't make it. Like, she won't make it eating a diet like that.
I even had a few people comment about your diet on my videos. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, people? Not like that many, God. But I think I saw it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, Jesus Christ, people. Nut jobs.
Yeah. And every time in the vlog, I would mention that I was tired or anything. My feet hurt. I was tired. It would be... The comments would just flood in, like, it's because of her diet. And I'm like, do you not realize that I'm tired because it's 7:00 at night and I just hiked 25 miles?
Yeah, right.
Or,
no, it's because of the Gushers.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that went on into me not feeling well. It wasn't, I promise you, it was not the Gushers.
Yeah, dummies in the comments. It's ridiculous. I can only imagine what they're going to be like if and when I thru hike and like try to make videos of it, because I don't know. Maybe it's not the case, but I feel like sometimes people they feel like they have like more liberty when it comes to like ripping me in the comment section too, just because I like swear and like have that like attitude or whatever. So we'll see what people have to say.
And I did just watch your YouTube video today about your food and how you're trying to eat healthier.
I tried to.
I tried. Good selection.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was also like twice as expensive as my food usually is, which I realized when I was editing the video. I was like, I keep talking about how expensive my food is. It's probably not what people want to see, but
I loved getting the expensive food my whole thru hike. Every time I was in a gear shop, I'm like, all the backcountry or backpacking meals.
Yeah.
All the pro meal bars. I think those are like $5-6 a bar. I'm like, I'll take all of them.
Jesus.
I don't know. I did not hold back when it came to food. Because when else do you get that opportunity?
I mean, it's important too. Obviously, like it's one of the most important things you're spending money on out there. Like you're literally fueling your body, so you have to. And I guess it's kind of obvious, but for people who have thru hiked anyways, or even for anybody, you get sick of food out there. So like even just variety is like so important. At least it was for me. That being said, I guess the only variety I had was like different flavors of Northsides, but you know, even a different flavor of rice, even though it's still rice, can help sometimes.
Yeah, my variety was like different brands of lasagna backpacking meals. Like I would just alternate between like Mountain House.
It helps, honestly, even if you're eating like the same thing. Like even like for me, it was mac and cheese because I barely ever ate any of those backpacker meals. Like even just getting different kinds of mac and cheese was like helpful. Even though it's like literally the same shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you just see it, you're like, ooh, new packaging. Like, I haven't had this in a while.
What was the third thing that people would say?
Oh, this is a big one. I went too fast.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that is inevitable. People commenting that when you hike it like slightly faster than like a normal pace, I guess, like, which is annoying.
I'm not trying to brag that I did it fast, but like people would message me all the time or comment, I didn't like stop and smell the roses. And I'm like, do you like not realize what a thru hike is? Like I'm just walking through the forest like 95% of the day. Like it looks, I don't know, to me it looks the same. Like you get to an overlook, you get to like a view or an overlook and you hang out there for a couple minutes, maybe eat lunch, but for the rest of the time, you're just walking down a trail.
I feel like, yeah, for myself anyways, I'll speak for myself, and I think a lot of people that have thru hiked would probably agree. It's just, at some point, it doesn't really become about the scenery, which might not make sense to people who have never thru hiked or don't know much about it, because they think like, oh, like hiking, you're supposed to be hiking because you like enjoy the nature or whatever, and like that's not to say you like don't enjoy that part, but I feel like when you're hiking that many miles, or again, speaking for myself here, at some point, it's not just about like the scenery, it's about the goal and it's about just like doing the trail, I guess, which would explain, you know, why some people do it faster than others. I'm sure there's some people out there who have just taken, well, there's definitely people out there that just like take their sweet time and really smell the roses, as people like to say, so cliche. That saying kind of irks me sometimes, but you know.
I know. Every time I saw an actual like rose in a town or anything, I took a selfie with it, so I would have like a backlog of photos to send to people.
What do you mean? I am smelling the roses. See, here's photographic proof.
Yep, I had a couple selfies just ready to go in case anyone called me out.
That's so funny. I've never thought about that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and like I feel like towards the end, maybe not just the end, like the middle and the end, it just came down to how soon I wanted to get to camp at the end of the day. Like I could sit here and look at the view, or I could get to camp 15 minutes earlier and just chill out.
In your like non-sweaty hiking clothes with your sleeping bag, and it's just more comfortable to hang out like that.
Yeah, I didn't do any like blue blazes to views. I feel like there was a really pretty spot right before the priest shelter. I forget. It was like some like blue blaze, like a whole mountain though. And like some hikers would do it because it was beautiful, but it was like a mile before the shelter and it was sunset, and I'm like, no, I just need to get to camp. Like,
yeah,
I'm not hiking a whole other mountain when I can just like go set up my tent and eat dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm the same way. I barely did any blue blazes on the AT.
Yeah, and I also kept thinking, I'm like, this isn't like my only hike. Like I hike all the time. Like when the thru hike is over, I'm gonna keep hiking. I'm gonna keep having opportunities to see good views. If this was like the only hike I ever did, and I knew I was gonna summit Katahdin and never hike again, then I would probably go slower. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, especially when you live so close to all the mountains there.
Yeah.
What was the next thing?
Too many hostels. I went into town too much.
Oh, I remember seeing this a little bit in the comments too.
Yeah. But if people wanted to watch my videos, if they wanted me to keep putting out one video every single day, I needed to go into town. I need to charge my stuff. I need to use the Wi-Fi. And I couldn't help it. Plus, there's a lot of people that would say that I wasn't doing like a traditional thru hike. There would be a lot of comments saying I thru hiked in 1990 and we didn't have our cell phones and we didn't have shuttles and hostels. And I just wanted to be like, well, it's not 1990.
People who say that shit, they're just like so tone deaf. It's hilarious. Like they literally just sound so dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
it's
dumb.
Not like I'm not gonna leave my smartphone at home because someone who hiked the trail in 1990 didn't use one. I don't know. I'm just up with the times.
Yeah, like just
cool
like they were when they were younger too. Like when they were, I'm sure there was in 1990 there was people that thru hiked in 1970 or whatever, and watching people in 1990 like, oh, look, you got your, I don't know what the fuck they had in 1990. You got your, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna pretend. There's no equivalent of a cell phone, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
So I'm a millennial and I like my cell phone and Gut Hook and Uber Eats.
Like 95% of the rest of thru hikers too. It's like not something unique to you, obviously, which some people probably don't understand.
Yeah, and I hiked at a faster pace, so I feel like I just got to towns sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So like if there was a town that's like traditionally like 5 days away, maybe I got there in 3 days, and I'd go in and get food. And the more often you're in town, the less food you have to carry. So sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. Was that number 4? Yeah,
I think
that's 4.
I've actually been doing them out of order.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think the last one I have is slack packing, because I've had people say that if you slack pack, then you're not thru hiking, which doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. This one is definitely controversial because there's people that I knew actually when I was thru hiking, like some of my friends that would say that like slack packing is cheating. And I was like, not really. Like, I don't think it is at all, actually. I mean, I didn't slack pack at all. I even brought my pack up Katahdin, but like I never like saw people slack packing and being like, oh, like these people, like this is not the same, because like you're still hiking the entire trail. Like you're still seeing everything. You're still traveling the entire distance. Like if you're going to say slack packing is cheating, then at some point you're going to have to make like an arbitrary pack weight cutoff, because some people have really light packs and some people have really heavy packs. Some people's light packs are a lot closer to a day pack, aka slack packing. So it's like there's no logical like endpoint for that argument. There's no logical conclusion. So I think it's pretty stupid, honestly. And I know it is controversial, probably more so than some of the other things you said, but I think it's pretty ridiculous.
And what, like the ATC is going to be like, oh, we don't recognize any hikers with backpacks that weigh less than 25 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
Like it
I'm
literally
like, who
makes
really
no sense.
cares? I've slack packed, but like I just wear in my normal backpack. I just take everything out of it. I'm like, oh, no one will judge me today. They don't know. I saw someone in what is it? Like, say I think I saw someone in New York. And I was slack packing I was not slack packing that day, but I ran into him and I was like, oh, hey. He goes, oh, I saw you before. I was like, okay. He's like, I saw you in Pennsylvania. You didn't have a pack on. I was like, oh, yep, that's probably true. And he's like, okay, bye.
As if you were supposed to be like, oh, busted, like exposed.
Yeah, and then he brought it up again. He's like, oh, yeah, you're Taylor, the one that didn't have their backpack on.
What the
okay.
Has he not seen like literally like so many people slack pack? It's like a fucking really normal thing. Like it's not like only a few people do it. Like what an ass.
And then we said bye, and he started walking down. He had a knee brace on, and he started walking down the trail, and he was limping. And my hiking partner was like, well, he didn't say it loud enough, so that guy would hear. But he was like, oh, maybe you wouldn't be limping if you slack packed today.
Yeah, what an asshole. Not Stretch, the other guy. Yeah, that's funny. Freaking freaking trolls, even real life trolls, I guess. How often were you getting recognized from the videos while you were out there?
Oh, often.
Was it ever like obnoxious?
No, because I really appreciated everyone that came up and said hi. Like, I never thought anything negatively about it, but there was one day I was hiking through New Hampshire, and I definitely expected it to happen a lot in New Hampshire. And it was a Saturday, and it was the presidential range, and I think it was almost 20 people that stopped me that day to say hi.
Jesus Christ.
But that was not normal.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. A lot of people out there, a lot of people with their kids, and I feel like my channel is pretty kid friendly. Mm-hmm. So I get a lot of kids watching it. And they were pretty excited to meet me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I didn't mind. I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
We're probably stretches of time, I don't know, maybe like a week where no one would recognize me, but I feel like average it was maybe 3 times a day.
That's crazy. Damn. We talked about this in our last episode, I feel like, but this is the getting recognized thing, because I've only been recognized maybe like 4 times or 5, maybe 5 times ever. Wow. And you're getting recognized 20 times in one day. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, it'd be like 3 to 5 times a day, which was crazy. And then I would know if someone knew who I was. It's just like they looked at me a certain way. I'll be like, okay, they're about to stop me and say that they watch my channel.
And think for every time you got recognized, maybe there's like even more people that like recognized you but didn't say anything because they felt like weird about it. I feel like there's been a few times where I've seen people look at me kind of like that too, but then they like didn't say anything. Yeah, but I mean, so I don't know for sure if they recognize me. Yeah.
They'd message me the next day, be like, I didn't want to say hi, but I saw you. Oh, nice, thanks.
That's crazy. That's so cool, Taylor.
And I don't know what you're supposed to say when people... It's a lot of people didn't really say anything. They just come up to me and be like, I know you. And then I'm not very good at small talk to begin with, so I'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick.
I was probably really awkward in all those situations, so I'm sorry to anyone who saw me on the AT, if you're listening.
That's funny. Let's see here. I guess, what was mentally the toughest part of the trail for you?
Really the only time I felt like it was like mentally draining was the 100-mile wilderness. Mm-hmm. It sucked.
I'm not surprised to hear that at all. I feel like, it was pretty similar for me, honestly.
You're so close to the end.
But you still have so far to go.
It was like, it was late June, so it was getting really hot, and the bugs were the worst I've ever experienced. I did not bring enough food. And then I think the only time I ever cried on trail was the 100-mile wilderness, and it was like every day. It was rough. It was, and then, because my hiking partner, I'll just call him Cody. I don't think he goes by his trail name anymore, but he is so fast. Just like every single day. Sorry, my fiance just got home, so you might hear a lot of dog barks. He was so fast, and it was so tough keeping up with him. I'd like see him in the distance, and he'd be like 10 feet in front of me and then 20 feet in front of me, and he never stopped. He just like, once he started hiking, he was going until lunch, and then after lunch he just went until it was dinner time. So I would have to pee, and then I'd pee, and then I'd never see him again for the rest of the day. And I would beat myself up over it. I'm not in shape anymore. I can't keep up. And it's just, I don't know why that just mentally, it was not his fault at all.
No.
Like, I don't blame him for going fast. He was trying to escape the bugs, but oh my God, that was so tough. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listening can probably relate to that. Maybe not in the sense of a thru hike, but just like hiking with someone who's definitely faster than you. Honestly, I can relate to that a little bit lately because Flossie's been like really pulling ahead of me in terms of speed and ability this summer. He's like training for a couple ultra marathons. He's in like fucking crazy good shape right now, and I just fucking hurt my foot, so I'm gonna be even further behind him now once I recover. But I can
I
relate
heard
to
that
that for
teaser
sure.
in your beginning
Yeah,
that you hurt yourself.
I hurt myself. Yeah, it sucks, but we don't need to. I've been complaining about it to every single person who will listen since it happened like a couple days ago. So,
Yep.
anyways, people are gonna find out tomorrow what happened if they watch my video, but
Woo.
that's besides the point. Yeah, that can be a little bit frustrating being like slightly slower than somebody. It's hard
Yeah.
to, I guess, kind of while we're talking about this, it's almost like a competitive thing. Not like actually competitive, but just like maybe to yourself. It's like, shit, like I want to be able to keep up with this person, but I can't. So I've been there.
And
It's frustrating.
that close to the end, I just didn't really feel like hiking by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I've hiked with Cody for 2,000 miles, and then now all of a sudden he's just like la-di-da on the trail, and I'm like trying to keep up with him. Sometimes we'd talk a lot on the trail, and we'd be telling stories, and all of a sudden my story would just like stop halfway through because he got too far away. I'm like, oh, forget it. I'll see you later.
Damn, that's funny.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
that was rough. But other than that, nothing that was that challenging. I feel kind of lucky on this through hike.
Really?
I don't know.
Why do you say
a lot
that?
A lot of things went well. I never got injured.
Yeah, that is
Which
lucky. I feel the same way about mine. I never got injured either, and a
Yeah.
lot of people do. A lot of people do.
I did hurt my foot on day 3, but I took a couple zeros and it went away, and I got new shoes and I was totally fine. But
What
after
hurt?
that, I think just like the bone on the outside of my foot.
The bottom
I
outside?
had what?
The bottom outside?
Yeah, I think, or actually no, the top of the foot.
Okay. I was gonna say that sounds eerily familiar to me right now. But like I said, I don't need to go into it.
I kind of showed the injury on a YouTube video, and I got an email from I think a physical therapist or someone in the field, and he explained what could have happened, and it all made perfect sense. So I had the Lone Peak shoes, and they were really old. I started the trail with trail runners that were almost time to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were so stretched out that like the pinky toe side of my foot was almost like hanging over the side of the sole. So it was like starting to disconnect. I don't know. It was like stretching apart from like the rest of my foot.
Damn.
I don't know. I'm not medical. I probably butchered that explanation very, very much, but yeah, it was something like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
I switched to Saucony shoes and had absolutely no foot issues the rest of the hike.
Nice. I just got my little foot thing with my Lone Peaks too, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, do I change? I just got these. Anyways, sorry.
And then I do have a brand new pair of Lone Peaks at my house. Wore them on a 6-mile hike the other day, and the foot pain came back.
Oh,
so
maybe it's a zero drop thing. I don't know.
Yeah, could be it. Which sucks because
Those shoes
brand
are
new
really
pair.
popular though, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Cody had a lot of foot pain, and he did the whole thing in ultras. I don't know. I wanted to love them, I just couldn't.
Maybe I need to rethink my switch to the ultras here.
Yeah.
Let's see, Taylor. What was very generic question, but I feel like I always ask this when I talk to long distance people who have done like the AT and PCT and stuff. What was like your favorite, if you had to pick, favorite stretch of the trail?
The
A stretch you
Virginia
could
triple...
see. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Virginia Triple Crown.
Really? I feel like a lot of people don't like that stretch because you're like right in the middle of Virginia, and it's just like, wait. Am I thinking of the right stretch of Virginia? What stretch
The
is...
McAfee Knob.
Okay, never mind.
Dragon's
For some
Tooth.
reason, I was thinking of by the Priest. Is that close? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I think the Priest is a different part of Virginia. But anyways, sorry.
I don't know. I always bring up that section because I knew it was going to be cool because everyone talks about McAfee Knob and it's Dragon's Tooth and Tinker Cliffs, but I didn't think it was actually going to be cool. Like I thought I would like end up there. I'm like, okay, this is what everyone talks about. Neat.
Yeah.
Like let's go on. But my favorite was Dragon's Tooth, and we camped up there. We could see the sunset and then the sunrise the next morning, and it was so cool. Just like climbing on those rocks, I thought were pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I just liked it. And we kind of took our time during that section. I don't know exactly how far apart they are from each other, but we got sunset, sunrise on Dragon's Tooth, and then the sunset and sunrise on McAfee Knob the next day. It was gorgeous. I love that.
That's awesome.
What else did I like? New Hampshire, probably.
Yeah, understandably so.
I can't not like New Hampshire. It did definitely kick my butt, though.
Well, yeah. I'm sure it did.
Because I only day hiked New Hampshire. I never really backpacked in the Whites. So I was like, oh, I've day hiked all these peaks. I've done all these trails. Like, New Hampshire won't be hard. But I got there. I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's tough. But you did it. Can we talk about this? So when Taylor and I were planning before we started recording everybody, I just asked her if there's anything she wanted to talk about, or even just any ideas, I guess is a better way of saying it. And one of the things you said I thought was really interesting was that being ahead of the bubble was like a weird experience. Those are your words there. Can you talk about that a little bit? Kind of like, what did you mean by being ahead of the bubble being like a weird experience?
So a lot of people, I feel like when they think of the Appalachian Trail, like one of the first things is like the AT community. And I don't know, this is what I went into the thru hike thinking. I'm like, oh, like the AT community is so nice and everyone's so supportive and it's a great place to be. Everyone's out there having fun, but it wasn't towards like maybe New England when I got ahead of the bubble. It was just so competitive. Like, I feel like no one out there like really had each other's like best interests at
Really?
heart.
So is that just because everybody that you were around were like among like the fastest hikers?
I think
interesting.
Like,
I haven't really ever thought about this because I was like the opposite. I was with all the people that were like really taking their time and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would be a cool topic because you started pretty late. You started in May?
Yeah, mid-May.
Yeah. So it's just the group of people that were in New England in May and June. It's just like, yeah, those types of people like to go fast and like treat the AT as work, and they're just like go go go. I'm pretty competitive, I'm not gonna lie, but I was just out there doing my own thing. I didn't make decisions based on other people around me. But I feel like some of the people that I did run into out there, it's just like, oh my God, like I don't want to be a part of this.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, like I met someone in New York, and then I saw them again in southern Maine. And this was like the first time I've seen him, I don't know how far those, maybe like a month? Mm-hmm. I don't know. From New York to Maine.
A little ways.
Yeah. So I saw him for the first time, and I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? And the first thing he said was, I thought you'd be further up trail. I'm like, oh, like, am I not going fast enough for you? Like, it's just a weird dynamic. Like, I just wanted to like hang out with people and have good conversations, but I feel like that's all thru hikers were talking about at that stage.
Interesting.
In New Hampshire and Maine. It just got old.
That's like so. That's something I really have never thought about, Taylor.
Yeah.
But it makes sense now that you're saying it. It's like the people that you were around were a little bit more competitive about it because they were amongst the first people. They were, the fast ones. That's why they were, where they were when they were. And then the people I was around were quite literally the exact opposite. I was around a lot of people that started, pretty long ago, but were just going really slow. And a lot of them were, maybe that's why in my head, I thought that like so many people were yellow blazing. I feel like maybe if I had started sooner, and I did kind of talk about this in that video, like briefly, but maybe if I had started sooner, then I wouldn't have seen as many people yellow blazing because the people that I was around, because I started so late, were more inclined to yellow blaze, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. I never really thought about that. That's kind of interesting drink every time I say that word. But yeah, that's interesting, Taylor.
I feel like you told me to like, maybe you told me to look to see if I noticed any yellow blazers. Because you told me you were going to work on that video. You're like, oh, let me know if you see any and like, what's up? Because, I don't know, you want to
make a journal.
Research.
Write them down. No.
But I don't think no one actually, there were like blue blazers that you can cut off a section of trail by taking a blue blaze. I've seen people do that, but I don't know if like any people that I actually hiked with and became friends with yellow blazed. I think people that far ahead of the bubble were pretty pure. I think
I would that would make sense to me. Yeah, that would definitely make sense to me. And then as you go further back, I'm sure you get more and more people. Hence my experience. Damn, that's pretty. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm sorry to hear that it was like competitive like that, though. I could see how that could take some of the fun out of it.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't see there weren't that many people. I think I went all Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont without seeing another through hiker.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so okay. I mean, obviously, but like that's just so different than my experience that just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, and actually maybe New Hampshire too.
That's insane. Wow.
There was one group. I don't know if you've heard of them, the Strawbridge family. It's like husband, wife, and 4 kids, and they finished their Triple Crown on Katahdin this year. Wow. But we leapfrogged them for most of like the second half of the hike. So they were mostly like the only other through hikers we've seen.
That's crazy. Damn. That's like so different. I was seeing like at least 10 other through hikers like almost every single day. It feels like it's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
we saw a lot in Virginia, Pennsylvania, like those states. But yeah, once we got into Connecticut, I feel like everyone kind of disappeared. I don't know where they all went.
Do you think that you would start as early as you did if you were to do it again? What are your thoughts on that post hike?
I feel like, yeah, I do like when I started it. But if I were to do the AAT again, I might go southbound.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Just
I probably
have
would too.
A new experience.
Yeah. Because that was one thing when you started that early, not that you were like the first person to do that, obviously, but I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's a really early start date. And I guess it's becoming more and more common for people to start that early. So I guess it's not, give it just a few more years and it probably won't even, maybe even already, it's not even considered like a early start date. I don't know, because people seem to be starting earlier and earlier every year, it seems like.
Yeah, there were a bunch of people when I started in Georgia. A lot of people on the trail. I was, I think, number 204 to start. And especially this year, not a lot of people registered. My hiking partner never registered. And yeah, you didn't get the tag, so a lot of people just didn't care.
Yeah.
But I started, I was number 203. And then when I finished, I was number 19.
Nice.
So not that it's a race, but I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, maybe that's why everyone was trying to be so competitive about it. They're like, fuck, I want that early slot or whatever. Damn, yeah. February, pretty early. Did you have any, I watched like all your early videos, but I can't remember. Did you have any like bad, like snowy, winterish weather? Because you started so early?
I never had to like walk through snow, which was one of my biggest worries going into it. When I started the trail, I think there was about like 3 feet of snow in the Smokies. And I was really worried about that, but by the time I got to the Smokies, the trail was pretty clear. And then, no, I never had to walk through snow. There was one bad like ice storm in the Roan Highlands, and that was also the like one night I decided to set up my tent on a bald mountain. And that was pretty bad. I had to pull an all-nighter. I never actually fell asleep.
Oh, so, yikes. That's no fun.
There was just a whole layer of ice on the outside of my tent. And then woke up in the morning absolutely freezing and had to walk through, I think it was still storming. I think about like 11 miles to 19E. And then got there at like 11 o'clock in the morning and just took a Nero. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't blame
I need
you.
to like defrost. Did you stay there?
No.
At 19
I went into Rowan Mountain, Tennessee, got food, like resupply, got my cheeseburger, and then I left. I was there in and out a couple hours.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this hostel was not a good hostel to go to when you're like really sleep deprived, because they had live music and like a really cool bar. But yeah, I pulled an all-nighter, and then it was like almost another all-nighter just because I was at the bar all night, like watching the show and drinking.
That does sound kind of fun, though.
It was really fun, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Let's see, Taylor. We're kind of getting towards the end here. Should we do story?
Yeah, we can.
Let's do a story.
Well, the story is in the 100-mile wilderness.
Okay. Talk
about that more. So we organized a food drop with Shaw's Hiker Hostel. And if anyone doesn't know, you can go to the hostel and buy, I think we bought 4 days of food to do the 100-mile wilderness. Mm-hmm. And we put half of the food in a bucket, and they were going to drive the bucket to us in the middle. Mm-hmm. So I think 50 something miles, and they were going to give us our second thing of food. And they told us the road crossing, and I was not thinking, I did not write the road crossing down. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the road in the middle of the 100-mile wilderness. Like, I'm not going to miss it. Like, it's the wilderness. I'm going to get to a road, and my bucket will be there. So we hike for 2 days, and it was like the morning of the third day. We go up a mountain. I forget the name of it. And we got service. And so we woke up, hiked this mountain, and texted the hostel. We're like, okay, we're on this mountain right now. We're going to be at this road. And we wrote the name of the road in the text. We're going to be there at 11 o'clock. And they're like, perfect, we'll meet you there. And then so we get down to that road at like 10 minutes before 11. And we're sitting there waiting, and 3 hours go by.
Oh, yikes.
And they're still not there. And at this point, we have absolutely no food.
Jesus Christ, that's kind of scary, honestly.
It was really scary. We had like one Pop-Tart and one ramen between the two of us. And so Cody hiked, like retraced his steps and went back up the mountain and got service. Turns out we went to a road that was different than the road that we previously agreed upon.
Oh no.
Because apparently there's multiple roads in the 100-mile wilderness. And the road we were supposed to be at was like 7 miles down the trail. So it's not, I don't want to say anything negatively about the hostel, because this mistake was our fault. But yeah, they eventually got us the food. And then we felt really bad. But actually, the whole point of the story, before they actually came, and like we're sitting there for 3 hours, there was a local that was like, oh yeah, this road is closed. Like, there's a gate. Like, even if you did schedule a food drop, that they can't get here. And like, we're like, what do you mean? Like, because at that point we told them, like, actually we're not 7 miles down the trail, we're here. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll go to that road instead. And so now this guy's telling us there's a gate and the person's not going to be able to get to us. So we walked to the gate to see if they were going to bring us the food, like, at the gate. At the gate,
yeah.
So we walk a mile down the road, and we get there, and our food's not there, and the hostel people aren't there. So, like, okay, fine. We got to go back to the trailhead, because apparently the other way down the road is not gated. Because, there's... Whatever. This
what
local
a shit
just
show, damn.
This local gave us, like, all this wrong information. So we're doing the 1 mile road walk back to, like, the AT, and a pickup truck comes, like, going towards us. I'm like, oh, like, the gate's not closed on this side of the trail, like, and then we're gonna, well, at first I thought that this pickup truck was the hostel and they had our food, and turns out not, but the person, like, comes up to me and rolls their window down, and I'm like, we're saved! And he's like, I know you. I'm like,
God damn.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you're probably the hostel guy. He goes, you're friends with Kyle.
Oh, jeez.
Did he tell you this story?
I don't think so. I don't recall, no.
Actually, I can't think of the name right now. He's a previous guest on your podcast, and he hiked the Diretissima in the fastest known time.
Was it Will Peterson?
Yes. Yeah, it was him. He's driving down this random 100-mile wilderness road, and he recognized me for being friends with you.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I'm like, okay, cool, like, really nice to meet you, but did you see anyone that works at a hostel? Because we're
like starving.
Yeah. And then they're like, nope, and then they drove away. We're like, oh, thanks.
Oh, no, that's so
But
funny.
then we did get our food, like, not even 5 minutes after that conversation.
So the hostel people figured it out, and they, like, drove?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, they figured it out.
That was good on them, I guess.
It was just such a weird, like, 3-4 hours that we were stranded on some random road in the 100-mile wilderness with no food. And the one time I thought I was getting saved was your friend that said hi and then drove away. I'm
and
like,
then bounced.
wait,
Will, you dog. Damn, that's funny. That's funny.
Well, you don't have an extra
It's
food
funny in
there,
hindsight.
Yeah, everything worked out well. But yeah, that was probably one of the days I cried like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was a rough day anyways.
It sounds rough. But it worked out, thankfully. Are there any parting thoughts or anything that you want to tell folks who might have been following your videos that you never got a chance to say on camera or reiterate now or anything like that before we kind of wrap this up, Taylor?
I don't know. It was a pretty fun thru hike. I always felt bad for saying this, but it wasn't that tough. Like,
that's
everything
crazy.
went, like,
that's crazy.
Really well. It was nice and smooth. I took 8 0 days, and 6 of them were in the southern half.
That's crazy. Only 8 0 days. Wow.
Yeah, I think I took 2 like the first 2 weeks, and then I took 3 after I did the 4-state challenge, and I think I took a couple days off to go to a wedding, and then my parents visited. But yeah, it went very well.
That's awesome.
I think that's the reason why I probably want to do another trailer. Do the AT again.
Yeah.
I want to keep it going.
That's awesome, Taylor. Congrats on the thru hike. Congrats on all the success that your AT vlog had. I mean, realistically speaking, your AT vlog was probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest ever.
That's
so far,
weird.
Which is crazy. I was thinking
Did
about
not
that.
Expect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to my first video I ever posted, I'm like, I only made this channel to hold me accountable. And it's just like a really shaky video of me, like, I don't know, on a trail 2 minutes away from my work. Never thought it would turn into anything. But yeah.
It's awesome.
Worked out well.
And all the success is much deserved. And the last thing I want to say is we need to go hiking again. We need to. Like I'm saying, this is a requirement. For being a Trail Tales guest, I get to pick and choose who I go hiking with.
I'm down.
I'm sure that makes you really excited to go hiking with me. Even now that I said that, but yeah, we should. If you're not sick of hiking yet, which it sounds like you're not, maybe at some point later in the summer, once my fucking foot feels better, we can we can
Is
go
it that
do some.
bad?
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's only been a few days, but it hurts a lot still. I'm not excited about it, but
I'll feel better.
I hope I do. But anyways, thank you, Taylor. Thank you for listening, everybody. And see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.